Tops up flappers, so if you're here for the giveaway, please navigate yourselves to the video on screen right now and follow the instructions there to enter. Now, if you're here to build your newly found love for Venti, hey, first of all, congratulations on your new character, and secondly, I'll be showing you 5 teams that I think Venti will be amazing in. Do remember that the 5 teams that are on display here in this video are in no particular order, so they're just supposed to serve as a guideline for you to start building your own variations. Now, I'm also going to be using 4-star units here, but you can easily change them out for 5 stars. I will go over each instance as the opportunities arise. Speaking of opportunities arising, please take this opportunity to go down below and moist up that subscribe button right before you give it a very firm slap, okay? Just do that for me. Thanks. With that said, let's just get into the video. So with Venti, there's so many things you can do with his characters, but today I'm going to show you 5 teams that really elevate his playstyle and plays to his strength more so than not. And I'll also go over a little bit on why these teams just work better than other teams. Okay, so with the first team. So we have Xiangling main DPS, Chongyun support DPS, Bennett healer, and of course Venti support. So the highlight of this team is really ult synergies, right? This is like your free-to-play ragtag ult spamming team. Of course, we have Xiangling's Pyronado with Chongyun's burst, and on top of that we have Bennett's burst as well. So Bennett and Xiangling both being pyro also serves as batteries for each other, and Chongyun is here to apply cryo, right? And Venti, of course, is the one that's gonna put all this together, the glue, as you can call it, between everything here. Now, do remember, it doesn't always have to be the pyro that's causing the melt. There could be an instance where Venti ults, activate Bennett's burst, activate Xiangling's burst, go in, apply all this pyro, and then finish it off with a Chongyun burst. It's going to deal a ton of damage. It's actually one of the better ways to centralize your damage because all the mobs are pulled into one tight pack. While you're standing on Bennett's ultimate, you get that damage boost, and while that's happening, Xiangling's burst is also on field and active, and then you go in with Chongyun to deal the finishing blow. Especially with Venti's second talent, this team essentially will always have their burst up, with emphasis going towards Xiangling and Bennett because with pyro, both of these characters are going to be getting particles from Venti's burst skill, and just rinse and repeat. Of course, outside from that, Xiangling is an amazing auto attacker, especially with Chongyun being able to infuse her attack into being cryo to work very well with her burst when her burst is up, or with Guoba constantly applying melt reactions even outside of Venti's burst skill. So for team 2, we have Xiao main DPS, Xinyan support DPS, Bennett healer, and Venti support. Now, this team is a double anemo, double pyro team. It's very powerful. However, there are drawbacks. So let's start with the pros for this team is that this is a double anemo, double pyro team, and Venti is going to be helping Xiao with his energy. And of course, Xinyan protects Xiao as well with her shield, and being double pyro, you're still going to be constantly getting that extra bonus from Venti's second talent. And while losing out on huge elemental reactions such as melt or vaporize in this team, Xiao's elemental skill can actually swirl. So when you have Venti pulling all the monsters together and applying pyro into the mix, you're going to be causing a lot of swirl damage with Xiao. Personally, I have found this is one of the better teams if you are free to play for Xiao. However, if you're not free to play and you have these units, you can do Xiao main DPS, Bennett support DPS, Jean healer, and Venti support. This team is a triple anemo team, and I think this team is sufficient for Xiao. It's really comfortable to play this team with Xiao, and if you have these units, you should know. And of course, Bennett is there because he's Bennett. So third team, we have Fischl main DPS, Xiangling support DPS, Diona healer, and Venti support. This team is superb when it comes to grinding down mobs, especially because of the way overload works. And if you don't know, overload is actually a very powerful reaction, but when you use it without someone like Venti or Sucrose holding the mobs in place, the smaller ones tend to fling off and fly off into the distance, and it becomes a real hassle to chase them down, especially if they still have pyro applied on them. Someone like Fischl with odds, every time you hit them with further electro application, they just keep flying further and further away. So with this team, Venti in this team will solve your issues, and actually it is such an amazing team, because when Venti pulls everything in, Fischl's Oz is going to be applying that electro damage. You have Xianling's Pyronado, and with Fischl's innate attacks, you can shred down monsters extremely fast. And not to mention, you also have Diona and Fischl here to make super conduct. You also have Diona and Xianling here to apply melt. Do give this team a try if you have all these units built, or if you have a certain upgraded version. For example, you can replace Fischl with Kaching, you can replace Xianling with Diluc, with Klee, right? It works as well. And the one thing to keep in mind is if you are going to be replacing Fischl with Kaching, make sure that your Kaching is built for Electro. Now, let's move into the next team. So for this team, we have Ganyu main DPS, Xinyan support DPS, Diona healer, and Venti support. It is a double shield team for Ganyu. Notice I did not include Geo because Geo is quite iffy, taking up a slot with an Anemo character in the team, and you lose out on one reaction opportunity. So with Ganyu here, we're using Xinyan and we're using Diona to offer up Ganyu the support that she will likely need when up against monsters that can do lethal damage to her. But this is a combo that you guys have likely seen before, with Venti gathering all the mobs and then Ganyu dealing with them the best way possible, and that is to charge attack them to death. So this team is actually really powerful, but there is a different variation of something very similar, and I'm going to show that to you guys right here, and that is the ultimate freeze comp. So what ends up happening is you exchange the safety of shields for a lot more utility and damage potential. So what you're seeing here, it's actually a freeze melt comp with Mona and Ganyu working together with Venti, swirling their elements together to cause huge freeze reactions. This team is capable of dealing with elite mobs, it's capable of dealing with small mobs, it's capable of dealing with bosses, and in a certain way, Bennett can make everybody on the team invincible because how broken his ultimate is. And of course, when Ganyu is having the burst, giving her that damage buff, Bennett here is also going to be amping her up as well. So this is actually a pretty broken team. If you haven't tried it yet, I do highly suggest this. And of course, we have our semi-whale team, because actually I was gonna talk about a team like this a little more down the road when Childe comes out, but I'll just mention it here. So there's a build with Childe where you stack elemental mastery on him, and of course ideally it's not going to be Venti in this position but Sucrose. So when it ends up happening is Venti can swirl everything together, apply pyro, and then you use Tartaglia to proc vaporize. And let me tell you, if you're fully stacking elemental mastery, you're going to be hitting for a lot of damage. This is like a one-shot team. And of course it doesn't have to be. You have Diluc in the team, you also have Tartaglia. Granted, his on hit is not going to be that good with this build because you're going to be pushing for over 500-600 elemental masteries if you can. Of course, that is incredibly difficult to do. So if you don't want to do that, it's okay. But just know that if you have Tartaglia on the team and you have Venti, likely you're going to be running an elemental mastery team. So yes, with that said, that's going to be all the teams that I am going to mention here today. Don't worry, there's a lot more teams. If I didn't mention the team that you are currently running, it doesn't mean that it's bad. I only can fit so many teams into these videos, but do take these as building block for your own teams. Anyways, that's going to be it from me, and remember to tune into my live stream tomorrow, as during today's random surprise live stream we gave away some battle passes, we gave away some welcome moon just for the live stream members. And also tomorrow I will be doing account reviews. If you want your account reviewed, you can apply in Discord, so make sure you go ahead and do that. Anyways, this is EroticWalruss, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe and peace.